Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to another Star Wars video, and today I want to share my thoughts on the Star Wars weeks, the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker weeks. Now, I'm not going to go into that new version because I'm still not completely convinced that that version is true. I do believe some of Jason Ward's leaks, by the way, even though he was wrong about one thing. But today, we are going to go over this specific version. We're going to start right now. So, apparently... spoiler alert, by the way. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Yeah, just thought I would let you know. Spoiler alert. Potential spoilers for the Rise of Skywalker here. So if you don't want to know, then click away. Anyway, Forest Planet bathed in red light. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren has been aware of the dark power behind his predecessor and former Master Snoke. Kylo has been spending his time as leader of the First Order around his quest and begin to get very frustrated with what they've seen as a fool's errand. They see this as a waste of the First Order's time and resources. When we catch up with the villains of our story, Kylo is leading an assault on this planet with the purpose of finding Darth Vader's Wayfinder device. The device reveals coordinates within the unknown regions, and Kylo is confident that this will reveal the source of Snoke's power. Kylo Ren slaughters his way through the natives. To find the Wayfinder. Darth Vader's Wayfinder. Okay. The Resistance Jungle Base. Leia's picked up where their brother left off and has been helping Rey learn the ways of the Jedi. Rey is first seen do some meditative / mental force training, but is struggling with it. Reshoots have apparently amended Rey's mental training to focus around trying to communicate with past Jedi who have become one with the Force. In frustration, she asks Leia if she can do any physical training course instead, and this is what we see Rey doing in the Jungle Forest in D23 First Look. It appears that Rey has more physical fortitude than she has mental strength. Okay, let me go over this first part. So I think that the idea of Kylo Ren after and that it leads him to this Wayfinder, specifically Darth Vader's Wayfinder, and he kills natives to get it, and then we see Rey do some force training. I'm happy about that, because before she wasn't trained in the last film, and in the last film, Luke Skywalker completely ignored training. And I'll give you my thoughts about how he acts later in the film. I think it's good. It's a good balance there. But let's move on. Anyways, reshoots have added a great sense of anger in Rey during her physical training. Another point that she's gone dark side, well, you know. In her anger, she cuts down a tree which falls on BB-8 and damages him. After her training, she tries to communicate with Luke, asking him to appear to her, but nothing happens. Leia gives her lightsaber to Leia, feeling that she is undeserving of it. The Unknown Regions, Exegol. After obtaining Vader's device, Kylo travels to the place provided by the Wayfinder. It takes them to the unknown regions and a dead planet of flat black rock. I previously reported that the planet where Kylo finds Vader's Wayfinder was called Exegol. Since then, my understanding has been involved, and I am actually told that this planet bears that name. Kylo lands outside a giant cube. Oh, by the way, this is not a cube. By the way, in the way this trailer for the Rise of Skywalker, where Kylo meets Palpatine, it's more like an upside down pyramid that's actually a Sith temple in the EU. So yeah, that's wrong. Anyways, he is floating above the ground and he begins to walk towards it. Kylo walks between the cube and the ground. Once he reaches the center, he discovers an elevator leading down the planet's surface. He follows the left down. As Kylo descends, he passes by giant statues and finds an old man near death, lying in the bed and being tended. Now this was disproven. It says that once he gets down to the bottom, he finds Darth Sidious laying down in a bed, tended by Sith loyalists, but it did not show that. It did not show that. Instead, it just showed us him lowering, then he's walking around with these giant statues surrounding him, and then he finds some sort of weird container that's right by him with big black walls. It's not true right here. My source believes these days to be referred as Sith loyalists. The old man identifies himself as Darth Sidious. After his defeat at Endor, he left the known galaxy and traveled to the unknown regions to rebuild his empire. Palpatine orders Kylo to bring Rey to him and turn her unified force into a unified force of darkness. Palpatine also reveals that he has been amassing a armada of Star Destroyers equipped with Death Star tech. I think this is cool, even though it's the same thing. It's better. Like, instead of making just a whole planet like they did in. So yeah, that's better. Each one capable of destroying a planet of its own. Hux and Pride of Test were rounded up children in large armor strain. So they're stealing children. They're being more evil than ever. I like that. New version of this scene puts Kylo voluntarily in anger front and center instead of more than less like conversation before. Kylo now apparently threatens Palpatine and his lightsaber after making cruel words are apparently traded back and forth, and it's been indicated to me that Palpatine does not refute that he died on Death Star when challenged, but kind of responds, and yeah, I'm sort of here, sort of way. This right here. No. Don't do this, JJ. Do not just say that he's here because he fell through a black hole or he used some sort of force power that you're not gonna name. You need to name it and you need to explain it, okay? Don't just say that he's here and that he's just back. Don't do that. Anyway, Palpatine also apparently tells Kylo's race lineage during the conversation as well. Back to the asteroid base. We pick up with Finn and Poe on the Millennium Falcon, accompanied by a handful of unfamiliar alien characters travel into an icy asteroid base to meet with a First Order informant. This informant and alien is acting as a middleman between the First Order mole and our heroes. Now this is interesting. This right here is interesting because we never seen this sort of thing before, and I'm curious the way it'll be executed. So I like that. Then we get the contact's name. First Order, of course, arrives and begins attacking the base. The assault forces our heroes to make a hasty exit, but was described to me as light speed skipping. So basically, it involves making a jump to light speed without plotting a course or determined destination. So basically, you're going to run into some problems such as a star, or going into a star, or crashing into something. Basically, stuff like that. And they're forced to do all these uh, light speed skipping. After surviving the dangers of light speed skipping, our heroes can plot a course to a secret resistance jungle base. Finn and Poe return to Resistance Base bearing the knowledge attained from their encounter with the First Order informant. I've been told that in the reshoots that Rey yells at Poe for damaging the Falcon while Lightspeed skipping, and Poe yells at Rey for damaging BB-8. Now, guys, I know what people are going to say. This is going to say that this is a feminist moment in the film, but I think that the reason why Rey is yelling at Poe for damaging the Falcon is because, she respects Han Solo. She respects Han Solo, and then Poe tries to get back at her for damaging his droid BB-8, which she likes. Okay. So yeah, they do all the information about... Yes, they find out about Palpatine's return immediately. That's kind of weird, right? I'm told that cloning is once again discussed as a possibility, but it's neither confirmed or denied here either. Snoke is apparently dismissed as a pawn working for Palpatine as she plotted his way power from the unknown regions. This is it's actually false. It's been revealed in the new trailer that Palpatine was Snoke, and that he either created him or that he did some sort of force projection, but he changed his appearance. So yeah, something like that. Finn apparently voices concern that the children will need to be kidnapped, as he was in order to staff of the fleet of the Scale. I'm told that this section was added in reshoots to provide more clarity to what's going on in the film. Okay, so room full of... Yeah, so basically they automatically find the traitor of the middleman, and then they kill him. And Kai was okay with it because it might draw Rey out of hiding, and officers suggest that the Sith fleet can't be trusted. But then, just like Darth Vader did, Kylo chokes him to death and basically knocks him around. Which is actually kind of funny because that's even more violent than Darth Vader did, but I don't know if they're trying to make him more evil than Darth Vader, but yeah, sure, that's what they're seemingly going for. Also, I do like that Kylo's being more evil in this. Okay, I'm told that this was added. Yeah, okay. Leia dispatches the two of them, Poe and Finn, at the jungle base once again, with Rey, Chewbacca, BB-8, and C-3PO to Persona to meet with her contact and see what help he may be able to provide. Yeah, Leia gets Rey to her back. Maz gives Rey a pep talk, stuff like that. Luke left behind some notes in accordance with Venjai's text that she stole from library tree on Noctu that describes a Sith artifact that might help them. One sources say they go to Persona to seek out a hermit that Luke knew. That's interesting. This right here is interesting. That some Sith artifact, that's very interesting. It's like they're trying to expand the lore, and I like that part. So I wouldn't mind if this was in the film. When our heroes arrive on a planet, they discover that a giant festival is going on. And then here, C-3PO just says whatever the celebration was. I don't care. Yeah, Chewbacca struggles to blend in because you can't hide a 7-foot Wookiee. Somebody asks Rey her name, and she says Rey. When asked her family name, she replies that she does not have one, which is probably a hint that it's going to be answered in film. I'm now being told that it's a child that gives necklace Rey. At this time, Kylo establishes a connection with Rey through their bond. Yep, so the bond is still happening because now Palpatine's controlling it. So, yep. According to my contacts. So, Kylo antagonizes her about her parents leaving her and selling her. So, basically, more torturing. Great. Okay. So, Rey travels to warn the crowds to warn her friends of the First Order. Coming when somebody saves them. And guess what? It's Lando Calrissian, which is actually pretty convenient. It's actually, I like this too. Lando and Luke went in search of this dagger. No, went in search of a Sith loyalist named Aki. Okay, so I think this is even more interesting. This is more expanding of the lore. I like that. Yep. They tracked Aki to Persona. When the trail went cold, they met with the question why he left the planet after the search for Aki and his ended. Lando tells the team that he had a young child at the time of him and Luke's quest, and while they were out for searching for the dagger, the First Order stole his child after having failed to protect his job from the First Order. Lando and Luke parted ways, and they stayed on Persona ever since. Okay, not really a hermit. It's just grieving what happened, but okay. Lando believes that the First Order has a goal to turn children of heroes of the rebellion to their former enemies as a form of revenge. That's actually interesting. I like that. Lando's the one that says I have a bad feeling about this line. Lando points him in the direction of the last known coordinates of Aki's ship, where the trail went cold all those years ago, wishes them luck, and succeeded where he failed all those years ago. Now, while this is interesting, I don't like that they basically just left him there. I mean, he should have just joined their adventure that they were going on, but okay. So they flee on speeders. They are chased into the desert by the First Order and Knights of Ren. It is at this point where the Falcon is located and detained by First Order. The speeder chase ends with the First Order troops getting killed. Eventually. Okay. What happens to the Knights of Ren, though? I thought the Knights of Ren were following them. But I guess they lost them. Eventually, they happen upon Aki's ship. When Rey sees the ship, it triggers some memories. It's the same ship we see Aki. Now this is interesting right here. More hints of Rey's parents. I like that. And before she can think about it, the crew gets sucked below the surface of sand, and they find themselves in a series of underground tunnels where they discover the remains of Ahch-To and the dagger. It's discovered that Aki was not just a Sith loyalist, but a Sith assassin. I've never heard of a Sith assassin before, but if this has to do anything with the EU, then that's amazing. Okay. They find the dagger among the remains, and Rey remembers something about that was tradition for Sith assassins to scribe secrets on them. Now, while this would be like a weird sort of Mary Sue thing to happen in the film, we don't know this yet, but Rey is Palpatine. Rey's a Palpatine, so it would make sense that she somehow has the memory or something like that from maybe when somebody told her about this, or Palpatine told her something. and I wouldn't mind that. So yeah, they can't. C-3PO can't read it. Oh well, he can read it, but he just can't tell them an exact translation. Chewbacca basically takes the dagger. The team runs into a giant, very aggressive sandworm who create tunnels. About what the sandworm ensues, and our heroes end up back to a corner after a while fighting. Prepare to meet their fate when Rey notices the detail the worm is injured. Display previous unknown power Rey is able. Now! This is a part where we could hear another instance of Rey being the Mercer. Now, here's what I think. I think that before the film even started, that Rey was taught this power by Leia, or she read it in a book. I don't think it's a Palpatine power because it's healing, unless you can heal yourself, because that's kind of selfish. But we'll just have to see what happens and how it's addressed in the film. Anywho, so Rey senses that Cal is coming forward, so she takes off on her own to confront him and buy her friend some time. This is where the TIE Fighter in the first teaser takes place while Kylo and Rey are engaged. The Knights of Ren in the First Order head for Ahch-To's ship, and our other heroes. Chewbacca splits off from the crew to attempt to delay the Knights, but is captured. The dagger is taken from him, and he boards the First Order transport. Rey and Kylo both notice Chewbacca being taken captive and being brought to a transport ship during their confrontation as the ship takes off. So yeah, then Rey shifts her attention from Kylo and tries to save her friend, but then Kylo, and apparently it's the same sort of thing as The Last Jedi. Yeah, and guess what? Rey destroys the ship, and it's revealed later on in the film that Kylo did this to overload Rey, apparently. So yeah, that's interesting. And it's also another reference that Rey is a Palpatine, indeed. So yeah. And she thinks that she kills Chewbacca, which is supposed to be a really emotional thing in the film. But here's the thing. If this is true, then the problem is, while it's smart to do this, it feels, I don't know, it just feels that, like Chewbacca was killed for apparently no reason. It feels like that, and I just know that people are gonna yell in the theater when it happens. And then to discover later on that Chewbacca was on a different ship all along, it's just gonna say to people that they were just doing that to get a reaction out of you, than to just say, oh, guess what? Chewbacca's all along, and that will make people kind of pissed that they actually believed that he was dead. Yeah, I'm just saying. So yes, then she collapses. Somehow Kylo or the Knights of Ren don't get to her or take her or put her on the ship, and yeah, they just leave her there so Ahch-To's ship can pick her up. Yeah, that part does not make sense, but you know what I'm trying to say. Okay, then they head to Kijimi. The team arrives on the planet, bump into Zora Bliss and her crew, and she reveals that Poe is a colorful past, once functioned as a spice runner, and still owns her money. A quick skirmish occurs where Rey gets the upper hand, and Zora agrees to bring them to Baba Flu. I'm told we have a quick cut at this point back to Kylo, where we find out that the Knights of Ren have tracked the... Wow, man, the Knights of Ren... These people must be great trackers. Like, I mean... That's actually kind of funny. Like the Knights of Ren track them to Kajimi. Man, these Sith these must be Sith warriors right here because that's crazy. Okay. Anyway, Fuki tells everyone that he can unlock the message be read, and then then they have this conversation with Free CPO and just stuff that, which is pretty much same thing here. Okay, so Kylo spends much of his time at 10 that eyes and raise him. Conversation resolves around parents, truth bound by the dagger. He tells mostly the truth, blah blah blah, and Rey lashes out the Kylo during the bond and their lightsabers clash. This is apparently the fight. And so basically the bond is just to know where Rey is. And then they have a mini force battle. As Kylo makes his way down Parent, um, as our heroes make their escape, we see that Palpatine's orders to Hux and Pride are being carried out as children are being rounded by the soldiers First Order. Wait, so not only did they take all of the children of Kajimi, but they also are gonna. Oh yeah, by the way, they're gonna destroy the planet later on. So yeah, it's being very evil right here. Okay, so they escape once again. Then they get onto the Star Destroyer secretly because they type in a code, which very reminds me of the moment in Rebels where that happened, and I think that's a good thing. But as they land, Rey splits off, feeling something's calling her. Meanwhile, while the others find Chewie, their rescue attempt fails and they are all taken captive. Turns out Rey feelings is caused by the dagger, which draws her to it in Kylo's living quarters. So, Ahch-To's dagger gives her visions about what happened to her parents. Ahch-To found and killed them with a dagger that her parents were trying to hide it from Ahch-To. When she breaks free of the vision, a bond with Kylo begins. So, another bond. This is not explained, though. He says that he initiates another force bond. So, it can just somehow you can. Okay, that's weird. He discovers that she is on the Star Destroyer and the lightsaber duel breaks out with them. Again, Kylo is on surface Kajimi and Rey aboard the Star Destroyer. During this encounter, Kylo reveals that there is more to the story behind her, Rey and her parents. So we just get most of this information from Kylo because Palpatine told everything to Kylo apparently. Is during their confrontation in person that Kylo reveals Rey's Palpatine lineage. Appears that all is lost when our hero has been captured by First Order. When General Hux arrives in surprise. Now this, while some might consider this good, this is not the type of betrayal that I thought was going to happen. What I thought would happen is that Hux would probably try to either run away or he would try to take on Kylo Ren or try to shoot him or something, and Kylo would use the Force or stab him or do something to Hux and not just have Hux just help the heroes. I mean, seriously. Whatever. Anyways, from this point forward, General Pride is the sole commander of the First Order military. The Emperor contacts Pride and demands he use ones. This is where we see Pride destroy Kajimi. So now we're at Endor. Information going from Translation Dagger writing leads to the location of the second wayfinder device, which turns out to be aboard the wreckage of second Death Star. Now, another thing that I must mention, or there will be a lot of confusion. if you did not watch the Death Star explosion very carefully, then you might miss this. There are tiny pieces that we see go out in all directions, and I think some of these pieces they land on Endor, the moon, or whatever planet it's called, and while they do look small, if you look at the size of the first Death Star, and if you look at it when like they arrive in front of it, it looks bigger when you're closer to it than it does when you're farther away. So it actually makes sense that some of the wreckage is on Endor. Just wanted to point that out. So they meet Janna, and Janna tells them about her backstory, and I think that's interesting too. And apparently, Finn and Janna apparently chase after Rey to and on the Death Star wreckage. Rey makes her way to the Death Star wreckage and begins climbing her way through its twisted remains. Now, again, you're probably saying this is a Mary Sue moment because how would she know how to make her way through Death Star? Well, if you remember from The Force Awakens, we see Rey doing the same sort of thing in the oldest Star Destroyer. It is really her job to go through old ships and scavenge whatever she can and sell for food. So this shouldn't really be that much surprise. Anyway, she reached the Emperor's throne room and discovers a chamber connecting to that room that contains the second Wayfinder. Rey approaches the object and picks it up, which induces a vision of a possible future for herself. I am a little bit angry about this. I'm a little bit angry. This says that it was just a vision. But the thing is, there's so many hints from The Last Jedi, The Force Awakens, that Rey will turn to the dark side. She has to at least turn to the dark side temporarily, but again, I don't not think that these leaks are 100% true. But I like them so far. Except for a few problems, I like it so far. So the vision shocks Rey, and she stumbles back into the throne room, where Kylo Ren is waiting for her. Kylo takes possession of the Emperor's Wayfinder and destroys it. Indicates to Rey that the only way to get another Wayfinder is to go for him and takes Vader's. I said battle ensues, and eventually transition into the wreckage among crashing waves. Kylo and Rey's clash sabers are bright. As Rey and Kylo clash sabers later on in the fight, a bright light in the universe begins to fade. Wow. That much? Is she like the Last Jedi or something? Because like a bright light in the universe, does that mean that there's a lot of force in her? Yeah. Okay. And then Luke's appearance. Yeah. So Luke apparently talks to Leia before her death and then just leaves. So as their battle rages on, Kylo and Rey both sense the death of respected mother and mentor. I'm told that Palpatine senses her death too, making him more confident that Rey has nobody to turn to but him. Somewhere around here, Palpatine orders Kijimi to be destroyed as the first ships of the Sith fleet reach deployment altitude. They both react, but Rey recovers from the shock sooner and leverages the moment to take Kylo's weapon from him and stab him through the chest. Now people are mad about this part, but this does not say that she was the Mary Sue, because technically she didn't beat him in the fight. They both got shocked that Leia was dying, and Leia just snapped out of it a second earlier and managed to take the weapon from him. So, not really a Mary Sue. Just saying. Rey declares to God that she will never be like him and fall to the dark side, which is exactly what Kylo says. No, not Kylo. Luke says. She exercises her newfound healing ability to save Kylo from death, steals his ship along with Darth Vader's wayfinding device to board, and takes off, leaving her enemy behind. She leaves and she heads to a different planet. Broken and defeated, Kylo Ren remains on the wreckage of the second Death Star when he is visited by a vision of his father. Han speaks to his son, telling him that it's too late to return the light. That you need to fix that, man. You have practice, you need to fix that. And make the right choice. This conversation has a profound effect on Kylo. Now, I would have liked it better if Han was replaced by Hayden Christensen because I mean, he respects Anakin and Darth Vader much more than Han Solo, but I don't mind this. He's defeated and he knows that he's failed, so it makes sense that he's listening to him now. So, Ahch-To. Yep, she goes back to Ahch-To now. Following her experience, Death Star, Rey returns to the island Ahch-To. Throughout the course of the film, she is given into her aggression arrow, killed her friend by unleashing a stream of lightning on the ship, and learned that she is descendant of a Sith Lord, who reduced the Jedi numbers that they have yet to recover from even half a century later. Saw a vision of herself as a servant of darkness and stabbed her enemy through the chest in anger. Now, while she doesn't turn to the dark side, I do admit that this is interesting. This is very interesting because she knows all these angry stuff that she's doing and that she's feeling herself turn to the dark side, so she's doing what Luke did, but here's why this is better than when Luke did it. Luke would never act the way he did in The Last Jedi. Rey, first becoming a Jedi and doesn't know the responsibility of being the Jedi and stuff, this makes sense that she doesn't want to deal with trying not to be turned to the dark side by just going to Ahch-To. I like this decision, actually. Yep. So, she destroys his ship she stole from Kylo and refers to repaired lightsaber originally constructed by Anakin Skywalker and after it. Now, I'm sure people would be very mad about that, but luckily, the ghost of Luke Skywalker appears to Rey holding the weapon she just discarded. This right here, this fixes some of Luke Skywalker because he has Anakin's lightsaber, the lightsaber that himself threw over his shoulder in the last film, and now he doesn't want Rey to discard it. He does not want to, and I think that this is a good fix by JJ if it's true. Luke's conversation with Rey is said to be encouraging yet realistically grim in tone. Luke knows firsthand what it's like to face Palpatine. It's not an easy task. Yeah, Luke, you were electrocuted pretty bad, and the only way you won is because Darth Vader really threw Palpatine over the edge. Rey must confront the Palpatine the same way that Luke once had to confront Vader. Luke encourages Rey by telling her the fate Rey had in her. She saw the potential within her and hoped that Rey would be able to restore balance to the Force once more, just as Anakin once did. Rey supposedly asked to speak to Leia at one point, but Luke responds by telling her that Leia has not yet completed her training. Now this is confusing to me. He says that she has not yet completed her training, but she generally teaches Rey at the beginning of this movie, and she seems to teach Rey how to heal. So how to... Okay, yeah, that's weird. That... So basically, Luke and Leia both knew Leia's heritage, and that is the reason why Luke didn't want to train her, and in the Last Jedi, and that's why he saw the darkness in her, because Rey's heritage was Palpatine. But now I do think that this fixes the Last Jedi some more, a little bit, so I do like this part. But then their conversation, Rey regenized for seemingly intermount tasks that lies ahead of her, and agrees to leave the island, having destroyed the ship she used to come to Octu. Luke raises his own X-Wing. I like that they're using... See, this Luke is being portrayed in a good way here. This is some of the stuff that we needed in The Last Jedi. This is what we needed right here. And other stuff. But this is good enough for now. Allow Rey to face Palpatine. In addition to the Starfighter, Luke gives Rey a lightsaber that once belonged to Leia. Okay, so then she, using Darth Vader's Wayfinder, she heads back to Exegol. And she sends coordinates to the Resistance too. The Resistance crew finds out about Leia's death once they get back. Lando comes back, having changed his mind after seeing what has happened thus far, and now he's wanting help however he can. I do like that too. So now Rey is back in the unknown regions known as Exegol. Rey follows the coordinates found in the Wayfinder to the same spot Kylo did earlier in the film. Rey lands just outside the giant cube. This not a giant cube, it's a Sith temple. Just saying. Floating above the ground and makes her way through the same underground passages where Rey and Kylo's experiences begin to differ. Come in where Rey discovers Palpatine. Palpatine's not in the same chamber that Kylo discovered him in, but in a huge open air area surrounded by Sith loyalists in dark cloaks in the grandstands. So, man, these Sith loyalists, they must be powerful. Okay. It's interesting. Palpatine is apparently supported by some sort of magical arm. Oh boy, so now we have Palpatine with a giant medical arm. He replaced his arm with a giant medical arm. I think that's cool. The sky above stadium is filled with Star Destroyers soon to be in conflict with the approaching Resistance. Rey begins to confront Palpatine. So, Palpatine truly wills Rey to strike him down in anger. Palpatine reportedly acknowledges that he extended a similar offer to Luke years before. But on that day, Luke had his father to save him. Leia has nobody. She tries to resist at first, but she slowly begins to lose her resolve. Now, while this is something from Return of the Jedi, I will admit that I think when Palpatine asked Rey and Luke to strike him down, I really thought that maybe it was just mean that Palpatine was going to possess Luke, and that now he's going to possess Rey. I really thought, but now after hearing this, if this is true, then it must be for a different reason. During this conversation, Sidious reportedly confirms Rey's lineage and goads her to take him on with a lightsaber and strike him down. Rey gives in to the Emperor's commands and decides to strike him down, though means that are still a little foggy to me. See, He doesn't know all the details. Ben Solo was able to leave the wreckage of the Death Star and his former persona behind and travel to Exegol with the purpose of joining Rey. He obviously found an abandoned ship somewhere. Don't haters don't hate on this. He obviously found an abandoned ship somewhere and knew that Rey was gonna go to Exegol. It's that obvious. Ben abandoned Kylo's lightsaber, no, so now he's walking into a war zone with no weapon but his force power. When he arrives on a planet, he encounters the Knights of Ren, who are guarding the entrance to the area where Rey and Sidious are. Ben killing the Knights of Ren with only the Force is apparently changed, as is being told to me now. He initially gets beat up by the Knights of Ren without a weapon. So he's trying to destroy him with the Force, but he's failing. Okay. But I mean, to be honest, these are Sith warriors, so maybe they're more powerful than Ben. I mean, Ben isn't even a full dark Sith yet. He's still training. So yeah, I can get past that. After doing this, he enters the arena as Rey is about to strike Palpatine using Leia's blade. As Rey is about to kill Palpatine, she sees no way around this, and she senses Ben at the last moment. She realizes she's not alone and instigates a force bond with him to pass one of her lightsabers to him. Rey apparently takes out the guards with Leia's lightsaber, while Ben uses Anakin's to pass the Knights of Ren. They return to face Palpatine together. How many? Just chair practice. Just wondering, how many guards are there? Is there like 10? 12? Is it going to be a similar sequence to The Last Jedi? I hope that this is harder, at least. Seeing Ben arrive pleases Sidious. Palpatine then uses his power to bond them together. I like this. This is a very interesting force power that he learned. He must have learned it from Plagueis. But the thing was, the reason why I believe he didn't do it when Darth Vader and Luke were together was because he simply forgot about it. He was so sure that Luke was going to turn to the dark side because he was so confident that after turning Darth Vader to the dark side that he could do it to Luke. And after seeing that he was basically beating up Luke and not thinking that Vader was going to betray him, he thought that Vader and him were still going to rule together and that Luke would be dead. But nope, he was wrong. So I do like this. He directs it into himself. The once silky and decrepit Palpatine stands tall and strong once again. Younger and stealthier state. My source on this tells me it looks clearer to them that Sidious is planning for Rey kill him, take over, and carry on his legacy, but sucking the life out of them, rejuvenating himself was his contingency plan. Thank goodness. I am so glad that he had the second plan. I am so glad about that. I actually like this part. All this action is happening on the ground. Much explosive details are happening in the sky. Yep, so then we have all this detail. Basically, all you need to know is that Pride can just transfer the signal to the Sith fleet to flagship to flagship, so it makes it impossible to stop. Making it almost impossible to stop. At one point, having to return to full strength, Palpatine then shoots lightning into Ben, forcing him to fall into the bottomless abyss, never be seen again. Sidious then shoots lightning into the sky at the Resistance ships. This reportedly shorts the ships out, leaving them essentially dead in the water as it were. Okay, there's more context on this, but from what I heard from Jason Ward is that the reason why Palpatine does this is because this is his revenge on the Skywalkers. This is his revenge on the Skywalkers by trying to kill the last bloodline. Rey reportedly lies on the ground and begins to concentrate calmly but hard. She reaches out to the Force asking for help, and she finally begins to communicate with Jedi of the past. I'm being told that among the voices she hears this time are Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, among others, though these are only names I've specifically been told. That means that there's still a chance that Anakin's still in the film, and we have videos from Jason Ward saying that he's in the film. Lucasfilm is hinting that he's in the film. Disney has said that he's the chosen one. I'm so convinced that he's in the film. In defiance of this, Rey grabs both of Anakin's lightsabers and turns his wrath on her. It's Rey versus lightsaber at this point. So basically, there's more context on this, but basically what's happening here is that all of the Force Ghosts, they're generating all their power and their strength, and they're putting it into Rey. And so that she can deflect the Force lightning, and after a very long time of stare down, he gets exploded. So no, this is not Rey being a Mary Sue like everybody has been saying. See, it's generations past. Supposedly indicate that the Jedi generations past are with her in spirit. They are inside of her, and they are helping her. This is not a Mary Sue thing. Stop saying it's a Mary Sue thing. It's not. I like this. Let's go. Overpowering the Emperor, deflecting his lightning back towards himself, killing him. Wishing powerful explosion enough to make the area start to crumble around them. Darth Sidious, the last of the Sith Lords, is finally dead. Now. Wow, I do like this part. I wish that there was a longer Force battle. Maybe a bunch of Force Ghosts versus Palpatine, a long lightsaber battle, a long Force battle. I would have liked that. Not this, but this is satisfying enough for me, at least. So yep, eventually Zora and Janet and Finn manage to destroy the tower just before it can send another signal to another Star Destroyer, and that destroys the Sith fleet. Having won the day, the survivors of the battle regroup at the jungle base and celebrate. What follows is apparently celebration across the galaxy, once again mirroring what we've seen at the end Return of Jedi. I'm told that Poe attempts a more than friends institution with Zora, but is rebuffed at a moment to play for a white laugh. Okay, when I see this sort of thing, I'm like, why? This is a PG-13 movie. It's not PG. This is not for kids. This is not for younger kids. We can have a kiss. Right? A romantic scene? I'm just saying. For the end of the film, the heroes then travel to where everything began. This on Sans wet planet of Tatooine. Between defeating Sidious in the moment, Rey is disassembled Anakin's and Leia's lightsabers and used their components to destruct one of her own that contains a yellow gold blade. Okay. I don't like this. I don't like that she just discards Leia's and Anakin's legacy by basically just destroying their lightsabers and burying them. I don't like that part. I hope that we get more context, or this scene is just different in general. A stranger calls out to her. The stranger apparently speaks of how nobody's been in this way for a very long time and asks for her name. This is the second time in film that the answer has been posed to her, but unlike the response of Persona, Rey has decided who she is. She gives the name Rey Skywalker to the stranger, adopting the name of her masters and revealing the primary meaning title of the film. Rey joins her friends looking off into the sunset with the twin suns set on Uva's river home. But wait. This is again. This was edited before by Jason Ward, and now it says that Luke and Leia are looking up into the sunset as well. So it's not just all about Rey. Okay, final thoughts. I mostly like the leaks. Okay? I'm just saying it right now. I mostly like the leaks. There are some problems that I have, obviously. But for the most part, I like them. Okay? I like them. And look, I want Anakin to appear in this film. I want him to be the chosen one. And I want him to help Rey defeat Palpatine. So that just really shows that he's the chosen one. But, we're just going to have to see. And, yeah, I think that these leaks are good. I don't think that they're really that bad. I think people are over-exaggerating on things, obviously. And again, let's go over the trailer that just came out. There is stuff in that trailer that is different than was described in the leaks about it. Again, Kylo Ren's not just lowered to the bottom and sees Palpatine in the bed. He sees a bunch of Sith statues, a bunch of relics, a bunch of skeletons, all sorts of Sith lore and stuff. So I think that if we give context to this could be a good film. I'm just saying. I mean, this film might not connect to the Skywalker saga if Anakin isn't in the movie, but it may be my 4th or 5th favorite Star Wars film because of all the stuff it has in it. So, yeah, tell me your thoughts and tell me why you think the leaks are bad, because so far I think they're good. I think they're decent. I think this could make a decent plot for a film. But yeah, just tell me your thoughts, your opinions down in the description below. I really hope you enjoyed this 1 hour long video, I think, and I will see you next time. Bye.